All right, here we go. I'm with my good friend Patrick Lee. How are you doing, Patrick?
Hey, I'm good, Mike. How are you today, man?
I'm doing good, brother. Today we're going to be discussing how to build a community of homeowners using content marketing, something that you've been very successful with. I've been watching you over the last year. And for those of you who don't
Thank
know,
you.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm excited for you to share those gems for all our viewers out there, all the agents who are looking to grow their business using content. Patrick is a real estate expert advisor out of Amarillo, Texas. And we're going to be going live into your content marketing secrets right after this.
Coffee and content is for the early rising. Bean roasting, pot pouring, real estate agent looking for the tools, tactics, and strategies to discover an easier way to sell homes using content. Coffee and content is brought to you by ContentCards.com. That's Content Cards with a Z.com.
You got your coffee?
I got my coffee. Coffee's content and closers, baby. Right?
Goes hand in hand. I do have to say so myself.
I agree. This is my superhero. So it's my superhero. My daughters call me superhero all the time.
Man, that's awesome.
Who is a superhero when you can call dad, right?
Dude, that's sweet. That's so cool.
Right.
And that's a big cup of coffee too.
Yeah, big business means big coffee.
Big coffee.
I'm just kidding, man.
Man. Hey, well, you are growing a big community and people who are tuning into your content every week. And the first thing I want to comment on is scrolling through your timeline. I saw you got nearly 1,000 views on your last Facebook Live, and you were walking through a home that you were showing. Can you tell us a little bit about about what worked with that and how that happened?
Yeah, the content. The whole plan behind this started about a year ago. Actually, when I met you guys, was introduced to you, and we started talking about different strategies, what was working in different areas. And I had done a few. I'm a talker. I'm a high I, and so talking is not a problem for me. And the team I was on, we had done live videos in some of our listings and things like that in the past. So in our market, the popular thing is for all agents that are doing an open house to jump on at the same time, and everyone's competing for about a 30-minute window of doing a walkthrough of their home. But I that's one of the things that I went away from and said, you know what, I need to do something different. And when I started talking with you guys, we started developing different strategies, what was going to work, what was really organic, and what was going to get people's attention.
Right.
So I started doing things a little differently. We came up with a plan for me to be the midweek motivation guy. And I started weekly, and we'll probably talk about that in a minute. A weekly show, but then just started implementing video and different content through video into my timeline at different intervals during the day. And it just started growing. And once I started getting traction, it turned into this snowball that just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So people realize it's like, the little link that pops up that says, hey, Patrick Lee is live. Would you like to be notified every time he goes live? And then people click that. And then all of a sudden, when I go live, it's like it's this big event now. It's like, so people start watching. And then there are a lot of different things we may talk about in here, but when that started happening, then my friend request started growing exponentially. I was averaging about 1,800 friends on Facebook a year ago.
Yeah.
I'm maxed out at 5,000 now.
Nice.
Have created a public figure page and have hundreds of likes and followers on that as well. So the content that I put on there automatically starts getting viewed more and more often. And then people are starting to recognize me because of that. This particular video that I did happened to be something that caught everyone's attention. I was very busy between numerous appointments and had to stop on location. Right. And, location shots get people's attention. It's not a normal place for you to be when you go live on a video. Yeah. So I'm walking through this home. It's taped off and masked off. The contractors are doing drywall repair. and shooting texture and painting. And this is some of the things that's part of the regular everyday life of who I am as an agent. And so they got a glimpse into that live, right?
Yeah.
And who does that? You know, if it's a TV show, it's staged. But this is just you. It's organic. It's who you are. It's what you do in your day to day, and people get to walk into that and join that with you. And I think that really attracts people.
Hey, you brought up a few good points that I really like. Number one is that you were showing that you're out there busy and behind the scenes and kind of filling people in on the real life of what it's like to be Patrick Lee, the realtor, and Amarillo. They see you consistently on Wednesdays, and you're shooting the midweek motivation. Like you said, you're going consistently. You're building the rhythm. They see that red live button come up, and they're clicking to watch. They're clicking to get notified. But then here you are during the week, like staging out your content. You're like, okay, so I'm going to be over here. I'm going to shoot this on the go. I know that and just this one time you happen to do midweek motivation on the go. So
on live location. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So it combined best of both worlds for you. Agreed.
Absolutely. I have found, and through great coaching from you guys, I've had a couple of different little studio locations. I can do midweek motivation from my home office, from other offices that I've had and worked at. And if I do midweek motivation from one location more than 3 or 4 times in a row, my views goes down. It starts to look like a TV show.
Right.
The good thing about being live is they don't remember if it's a TV show or if it was me on Facebook. If someone sees your face on social media and it's live in a video, in their mind, it registers just like they watched you on TV, right? So you automatically start becoming a celebrity of sorts. Some people call it Facebook famous, but is there really a difference between Facebook famous or being in a TV show? In someone's mind, if you're front of mind,
right,
you can get front of market, right? So you got to get mind share before you get market share. I think I learned that from a great guy.
Yeah,
probably you.
Yeah, I think Nick and I had talked about that with Steve Freeman out in Atlanta, and so we shared that in our content group, which you're a part of. And like you said, so you took and ran with the strategies. You got front of mind, front of market. Now you mentioned Facebook famous and building that celebrity, and really what you're talking about is your relationships with people in your community. You know, they already know you. Absolutely. So next time you talk to them, you're having more in-depth relationships. Can you maybe expand upon that and how your real life relationships and with homeowners in your community have been impacted, and maybe tell a story about a time that is, you know, somebody's recognized you for being Facebook famous and that helped you in your business?
Absolutely. Here in Amarillo, I'm a church guy. We're in the Bible Belt. Everyone goes to church.
Yeah.
And I go to a rather large church and have a lot of friends. I'm a social person, and I've been in leadership in different roles.
Right.
But just in the last 3 months, I've had 5 clients from my sphere of people that I knew at church, but people that actually had other friends that were realtors that came to me wanting to inquire about buying or selling a home because I'm the midweek motivation guy.
Man, I love it.
They talk to someone else at the church and they're like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, buying or selling a home. And they're like, you know, that's Patrick, man. He's the midweek. And they're like, he's the midweek motivation guy. That means a lot to me. Now,
absolutely.
One of those couples right now, we're under contract on.
Nice. Congratulations.
And we'll close on that house in 2 weeks. This is just one of the locals. I'm in a networking group here locally, and one of my great friends is a lender in that group. These people in my sphere from my church contacted me and said, hey, you know, we're ready to do this. Connected him with a lender, got him approved. We've looked at homes, and I was in between appointments in this live video that just got over 1,000 views. I was in between appointments for the property they're buying, having a couple of inspections done when I shot this video. And that's one of the latest. And those are starting to happen more and more often. People that know me, but they don't remember. People don't always remember that you're a realtor. Have you ever heard of that before? Right? You know, they've been your friend for 10 years. You get into real estate and then all of a sudden they're like, hey man, I just wanted to say, you know, thanks for being a realtor or whatever. I just bought a house too. And I'm like, with who?
Yeah.
You know? So they bought a house with someone else.
And they want to tell you, and they want to tell you like, oh, I just bought a house, and they think it's so cool because like, oh, they remember now that's what you do, and they think you can share.
Yeah, you're in real estate too.
But it's like, no, you should have listed with me. So unless you're doing these midweek motivations and you're going live like you are and building the content, you're finding that people used to forget that you were a realtor more often, but now you're front of mind, and people that maybe, you know, people that don't know you now know you're a realtor, but also the people that are in your network are reminded constantly that, oh yeah, Patrick's a realtor. He's a great guy. Midweek motivation. I have a reason to remember him more than just real estate. You're not bragging about your business. You're not out in the market saying, hey, I just listed all these homes. You're out in the market and you're helping homeowners, right?
That's absolutely true. And that's one of the things that I want to touch on. One of the things that I found to be the norm that I told you about open houses that I wanted to walk away from.
Right.
In our market, we live in a city of about 200,000 people. There are 900 realtors, about 50% of which did nothing last year. maybe that's the ratio, maybe in some towns.
Right.
Down here, the economy is such that a lot of people will get their license to be a realtor just for social purposes. So they have a business card, they may have a Facebook page, but their spouse carries a majority of the income, so they don't have to work if they don't want to.
Right.
The economy's really good down here, and a lot of people can live off of one income. It's good income. So if you want to do something that differentiates you from the rest of the pack, there's probably a between 80 and 100 realtors that compete for 90% of the business. So and it's the same in a lot of industries, a very small amount of the realtors in this town compete for a majority of the business. Because just to be honest, if you're not aggressive, if you're not doing something different, you are that average frustrated agent that's only going to sell 1 or 2 homes a year. You know what I mean? A family member or a friend that feels beholden to give you some business because you're related. That's not me. I didn't want to be that guy.
That's uncomfortable.
You know, we have big dreams and goals and a ton of people that we want to help. Yeah. And to make that happen, we have to do something different that gets people's mind. It shakes them out of that numb state that they're in where they don't recognize you for what you do. So to do something different, I have to break away from the norm of what all the other agents are doing and do something that grabs the attention and keeps me in the front of mind of the people that are going to bring me business. And you can't sit back and wait for the business to come to you in this town. You got to go grab it. And video has been phenomenal at helping me do that.
And so, like you said, it's highly competitive at the top, and there's not a whole lot of agents that are actually producing. And so when you get into that bracket of agents who are producing, who are selling the homes, and you're the one showing up at the open houses, it's probably always the same people at the open houses. It's always all the same agents.
At the open house is usually the same people. Yes. Yep. Most of them have a home that's already under contract, or they're doing an open house at their house. So they've got to be gone for a couple hours. Yeah. So they go visit other open houses. Right. So that happens a lot in this town. And we also have a large group of just serial open house visitors, and they just travel from house because they just like looking at houses. It may be the same where you are. There's a lot of that down here.
And so our
goal is to turn those people into a person that we have a relationship with, because that relationship is going to, between the relationship and our content marketing, we stay front of mind. So we are the first person they think of when it's time for them to actually pull the trigger and decide to buy or sell a home.
Exactly. And you said it, you have to have those relationships. And so the difference between a contact and a contract is the R. That's the relationship. And so
Right.
what would you say has been your secret sauce in building that relationship with content? We talked about the consistency. We talked about changing the different scenes that you go to, shooting them on the road. But what has been that one main factor
For me?
Yeah, if an agent watching this, what's that one thing they can walk away with and know if they start doing this, they're going to see more results in their business, building relationships because of their content marketing?
The number one thing that has helped me in my media, in my videos, is interacting with the people that interact with me. If I'm doing a live video and someone pops up on the screen, some people may have a problem with this, but I need to acknowledge them that they're there. I thank them for watching my content regularly throughout my video.
Gotcha.
Thank you. I'm honored. Lines like I'm so honored that you would come back every week and listen to this old guy talk, and it just endears me to them. But at the same time, I that's who I am as a person. I'd be proud to help you. That's another line that I use a lot. I'd be proud to help you. Thank you so much for tuning into my content. And at the end of that, when I'm done with the video, of course, the tag at the end, of course, it's always going to have my tagline in there. Hey, if you're interested in buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, hey, besides the content I'm talking about right now, I am a realtor. My contact links to my contact info is in the comments below this video, created by contentcardswithaz.com, right? That's going to be in my comments as well. But I interact with everyone who interacts with me. If they've comment, like the video, I go back in there and I throw a comment in. And every time I go in, if someone comments on the video, I go back and interact with them. Then it automatically feeds that media, that content that I put online, right? So there's new interaction on that. So I interact with everybody that interacts with me. Hey, man, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. If I can I'll put another personal touch into that content after I'm done talking. So the fortune's in the follow-up, right? So you've got to follow up with the people that interact with you to determine their interest.
Right.
So there are a lot of different things. Most of these things were things that other agents try to do in an antiquated method, but by doing it through video content on social media, it just makes it so much easier. I say this in a lot of my videos. Look, I'm 56, not 26. Okay. And it seems like real estate is the 26-year-old guy's game because there's so many young people in the world today.
It's funny you say that because I'm 26.
Hey, there you go, man. That's awesome. But it's just true. If it doesn't matter if you're 26 or 56, right? The tools that work.
Yeah,
so that's what's working for me. People recognize me. They watch my content regularly. They reach out to me regularly. And it becomes relationship. So some people have a ton of Facebook friends that they don't interact with, and they just carry that number. They're proud of that number. That number doesn't mean anything, right? If you're not interacting with these people and actually developing a relationship.
Yeah, that's right. And so to sum that up, and I love it because you actually recognize that people are on there. They're real people watching. And so you give them a personal shout out. You let them know that you'd be proud to help them. Thank you for coming back. So they keep coming back. So this is how you're building a community. And if you're an agent and you're looking to connect with homeowners in your market using content, it's personal. You have to get personal and you have to build a relationship. Also, I like what you said that you go back and you comment on everybody who commented on yours, because that helps to build the weight on the Facebook algorithm. So it pops up on other people's feeds. So you're aware of that.
Yes, it does. I have found that, and I preach this but I teach this in my midweek motivation. A lot of the things that we talk about, it's, everyone used to just call it hump day, but talking with you and your brother, we determined doing something different that, hey, what do you do? What are you good at? What do you want to talk about? So we did two things, and I have another Facebook page, which is called Midweek. It's Amarillo Community Spotlight. And that was the interview program that I started interviewing local businesses. So there's another form of content, interviewing local businesses, and then posting those. We have our own, and then all of my pages are all linked, of course, and everything gets shared from one page to the other. I have 17 pages on Facebook alone that are my own personal pages. So there's another tip.
Insane. That's insane.
Some people say that doesn't work, but it works for me.
Yeah.
Some of those pages are just, like homes for sale at Lake Tanglewood, because we have a big lake here. So just those groups are very interactive with the people that are in that market, in that group, just like a buy, sell, and trade page maybe in your market. You can share your social media to a buy, sell, and trade page that's got 50,000 members in that group. And then all of a sudden you're grabbing that content or that market too. But you've got to share your media from one page to the other. And then a lot of that we can share to different platforms as well. So having multiple ways to be online with different content gets people's attention more. So I've got a large group of people that watch, the Amarillo Area Community Spotlight, because they want to hear what that business owner may have to offer.
Yeah.
And that's great. We link that, but then we also share my Midweek Motivation Live to the other. But we talk about in Midweek Motivation Live a lot about the law of reciprocity. It's just a law of whatever you put out is going to come back to you. The kind of seeds you sow, the kind of mojo you put out there, right? Whatever you sow into the world is going to come back. So
right.
if you're sending out the right things, that can't help but return to you. And that's honor, that's pride, that's integrity, that honesty, that all those concepts have to be seen, felt, and heard through your media to get people to want to respond to you, right? So if you're sending that out and you don't sound like a snake oil salesman, you're just trying to get, we call it commission breath out here. If you're truly in the market to help people, that's going to come through if you're genuine, man. You got to be genuine. You got to make mistakes sometimes. You got to be organic, right? Sometimes you got to do video in your pajamas just to get people's attention. You know what I'm saying?
Who does that?
I don't know.
Yeah. So you said you have multiple groups, and I think that's really cool. Like you said, a buy-sell group might be popular in one community, but you created groups to be specifically addressing topics in that community. So if they go on Facebook and they're searching for anything in their community and they're interested, or they're moving into that community and they're typing it in, they're finding your group where you're consistently posting content and you're becoming the authority of that territory.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. That word community, it gets used a lot. And that was one of the reasons I put it in that other page, was the community spotlight.
Yeah. Just
to let, if someone's searching that term, they're going to find me. You need to have your name, of course, and you need to have your city. You need to have real estate, all of the things that you do, buy, sell homes, Amarillo home buyer, Amarillo home seller, Amarillo real estate, Amarillo investor, all of those different tags. You need to put some tags, some hashtags in there, but in the titles of that, and then titling your video is also important. If you have something that you can add different tags or different words in, put those in the description of your video. We've talked a lot in the past. I was coached by you guys to start using the emoticons in my content or in my descriptions.
Right.
That's very good. It gets people's attention right away without being comical and using too many. You need to know the emoticons that are working,
right? The
ones that are grabbing people's attention. You don't want to overuse them, but you want to use them in the right way. The right ways to use hashtags, the right way to link, video links in the comments, so you don't get shoved down in the analytics of Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And these are all things that I've learned from you guys. Being able to talk can come naturally to a lot of people. I was pretty good at talking, but got better. Everything we do, we get better with practice. So when I started doing some interviews, I don't shoot my interviews live like you guys, but my interview. I've done a few, but most of my interviews are recorded and edited because I just want that to be pretty cool.
Yeah. That's what.
But live gets easier. The more you do live, the easier it gets. You start learning the things to say. I talk with you guys about, where to go to get content, some of the different things, the topics to talk about, ways to find good locations. And there are a lot of tools that are available at your website, which I find very, very helpful to me. And the more of those I implement, the better it gets.
Hey, thank you, Patrick. I appreciate you sharing all the things that are working for you. You would think that somebody wouldn't share everything that works for them, but this is a show for making sure that other agents are well informed, because like you said, the reciprocity, the integrity of your brand is what builds the community. And that's why I knew I could count on you. And that's why anybody who wants to reach out to you, they can do so. We'll put the link in the comments below, or you can go to patricklee.work to speak with Patrick to learn more about building your business, your real estate business, using content. Now, Patrick, do you have any other things that you like to share? Any other gold nuggets before we sign off on building a community using content to grow your real estate business?
Here's the biggest nugget I could share with you, and that's this: just do it. Just do it. If you're afraid of it, do it. If you don't know what to say, practice. Read something. You can go live reading something out of a magazine. You can you can open a magazine, you can start a live video, and you can just read an article about something having to do with the real estate market, or something from a lender, or maybe a document from a title company that has 2 nuggets about real estate, how to get a loan if you're a first-time home buyer. And you can record it first if you want, and you can just say, hey, this is Patrick Lee, and I've got 2 nuggets about how to buy a house.
Yep.
You can read it and post it, and you're an authority all of a sudden because you just did a live video. My nugget is just do it. Find a way, right? Winners make a way. You can do this. It's not hard. If a 56-year-old guy in Amarillo, Texas can do this, you can do it. Trust me. The more you do it, the easier it gets, just like everything. But if you want to be successful in video content, you got to get started. You just got to do it. That's the nugget. Don't be afraid. It's, people like it when you make mistakes. So make some mistakes. It's okay. There's no one's gonna kill you, right? Because you made a video and you messed it up. It's okay. It's kind of endearing to some people, right? They're like, oh, look, he's real on TV. It's
humanizing.
It's cool. It is that's the word, very humanizing. So that's the nugget. If you want to make a dent, if you want to grab some of that market share, you have to use video. And this isn't just something that you and I are talking about. Everyone who's anyone in social media is telling you use video.
Right.
So do it. Don't say, I know that's what everyone's saying, but I've got this better idea. Trust me, you don't have a better idea. Use video.
Hey, thank you, Patrick. If you're just tuning in, make sure you go back to learn all the tips, tactics, and strategies that Patrick shared with us here on Coffee and Content, so you can become Facebook famous and people in your community know you as the go-to realtor. Patrick, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it so much. Thanks for having me on. It's always a good time talking to you.
You got it, my friend. We'll catch you guys next time.
Coffee and content is for the early rising. Bean roasting, pot pouring, real estate agent looking for the tools, tactics, and strategies to discover an easier way to sell homes using content. Coffee and Content is brought to you by ContentCards.com. That's Content Cards with a Z.com.